Off.
Yeah, it was a little bit quiet coming in.
But hey,
how's it going, everybody?
Botched introduction.
Yeah.
That's no worries. We're getting started. Episode 5 here, right, baby?
We still don't have a guy, starting the recording for us, so.
But in the rumor mill, we got a guy in the works.
Yeah. Yep. We got something working out.
I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
You know, because he has amazing energy.
We need something.
Great guy.
Yeah, and we need something.
We need someone like him.
This is fucking ridiculous that I had to walk around the table every time, like, trying to make it sound good. Like, hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah, so I'm back. I'm really far away, and then I'm coming back. Anyways, it's been a pretty hectic week, guys.
Yeah, what's been up with you, dog? I mean, basically, ever since the podcast, we've been trying to limit time a little bit, so we have things to talk about on here.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's not like we're playing fake catch up.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Yeah,
dog?
we don't talk to each other about what's going on in our week.
Yeah,
anymore,
like
dude.
on purpose.
Yeah. Hey, I want to save for the podcast. Nah, man, you saw the burn on my hand, dude.
Yeah,
I got wrecked by a pizza oven. I don't work pizza ever, so I stuck my hand. Oh my god! I told Trevor the story, but I'll tell you guys this. The guy that I work with is trying to hurry me up, and I'm like, dude, I don't do this shit, and you should be doing it anyways. This is your side. I'm just helping you out. And he's like, come on, get it out. And I'm like, all right, dude. And I turned back to him. I'm like, shut your mouth, dude. And like, as I turned back to him, instant karma touched my hand to this metal that's 915 degrees is what we keep the oven at. So this metal is just like smoldering in this heat. Touch it for a second, it's just I'm like, whoa, dude. And as I pulled my hand away, you still hear the sound going off my hand, not even on the. You see stuff bubbling on the oven, like that's my skin, and then my hand is still making a noise. I'm like, oh god, it's literally, you could see it bubbling and then like openings happening. I'm like, yep, never touching pizza ever again. I'm staying on my saute side, dude.
That reminds me back at Chicken Shack when I burned my face. You were working there during that. Oh my god,
yeah, dude. That's the worst thing I've ever seen.
We should go into this story.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I have 0 scars.
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
Don't know how this happened.
Yeah.
But basically, the way that those roasters work, it's an open cylindrical hole from the top. Yeah. And so the caps, they close over it, but there's baskets the food sit in there.
While it cooks, it sits in a basket to cook it through, and so you don't have just chicken randomly floating around in there. It's the same as a fry catcher, but it's a much larger scale, and it's a circle.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's so, just to explain it to people who've never seen a broaster, like a enclosed fryer before. But so what happened was basically
kind of looks like you're cooking meth in there. You know what I mean? That's what a broaster looks like.
On a legal level.
Yeah. It's like a giant pressure cooker. Just what the fuck is that? Anyways, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So basically, the way that these baskets work is there's a handle called a hammer, which you can press a button that separates the handle from the entire basket itself. So if you were to go, you could take that hammer, disconnect it from a specific basket in a broaster, and connect it to another one to raise that basket up. So we had on that side that I was cooking on in the meantime, well, the fish side, like how we brought up last episode, there's the 4 broasters, the grill, the fryers.
And then you have chicken side, which is 10.
Yes. You do the same thing on chicken, but the baskets weren't broken. On the one I was dealing with, the baskets were broken.
Yeah.
So
it was wiggly.
Yeah.
And mind you, these baskets are about 35 pounds a piece.
I would say they're hefty, dude. They're not.
Yeah.
They're meant to handle 50 pounds of chicken on leverage on a little tooth.
Exactly.
They're heavy baskets.
Yes, they're very heavy.
So the fish side baskets. Here's the thing: you would have to shake the handle from left to right in order to separate the food. Chicken side, you have to shake it up and down,
while giving it a left to right.
Yes, because the tooth on the chicken baskets would hold better. Chicken side, it did not. Yeah. But this one time, I shook it sideways and brought it up so the entire basket with probably, I would say 20 to 30 pounds of whatever food was in there.
Yeah.
And
it's about a foot off the oil.
Off the oil.
Yeah.
And I pull up the basket. This basket drops down into the oil, and it feels like someone took a 2-gallon bucket of water and threw it in my face.
Yeah.
But imagine it being 350-degree oil.
Yeah.
So what I did is I pulled my elbow up to my face to block it.
Yeah.
But it got below my elbow to hit me in the chin. And when it hit me in the chin, it splashed all the way up
over your face, dude.
The right side of my face.
Yeah, he looked like dude.
Two-Face.
Swear to God, you look like Two-Face, dude.
Legitimately.
Yeah, like not Aaron Eckhart's version, but Tommy Lee Jones's version. You know, with a little bit of purple. One. Yeah, with a little bit of purple and red scattered in there, dude. It was fucking horrifying, dude.
Yeah, and so nice move on.
Remember, dude? I'm sorry. But dude, I remember I was like, I think I was supposed to work with you that night or something like that, and I'm like, where the fuck is Trevor? So then I call you, you're like, dude, I'm in the hospital right now. I'm like, why, dude? And then you come to work the next day, you're like, I burned my face. I'm like, it's probably not that serious. Probably a really deep burn in one spot and whatever. And I'm thinking maybe it hit you, whatever. Because you didn't tell me what happened.
Yeah, I'm not an open person. Like, I got hurt.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
Exactly.
I got hurt.
Well, also, you were being checked out by doctors.
And
so
I was
like,
on...
I got it. There's a doctor looking at me. So I'm like...
I was on the next medication up from... It's an opiate.
Like a Vicodin?
Morphine. It was above morphine.
So it's a Norco?
I forget what the name was called, but
not
it was
Vicodin or Valium.
No, it was. It's 100 times stronger.
Percocets?
No, it's 100 times stronger than morphine, and you get it injected. I don't remember what it's called, but dude, I was flying high for like 3 hours, and I think that's when you called me.
Yeah.
Everybody was flipping out. I had so many people.
No, you sound panicked when I fucking talked to you. That was like 20 minutes after you got there.
Oh, that was probably like the medication, all that shit setting in, dude. Is because when I got there, they're like, what are you here for? I walked in the emergency room, like, I'm a burn victim. And they're like, okay, go sit down. It'll be about 20 minutes.
They didn't see your fucking face?
Yeah, I brought the rag down from my face and like, okay, you're going in right now.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because no joke, the entire right side of my face
was already bubbling.
Looked like the red to... Like, if you look at a stereotypical burn victim from a movie, that's the color that the right side of my face was. So for the next 2 weeks after I got out of there, dude, I looked like Two-Face.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones version.
Yeah.
And I could go and just run my fingers through my beard and just scab would fall out no matter what. You know, like, I couldn't
pick them up and eat them.
Yeah. No, what else am I going to do? I mean, of course. Why would I? I'm not going to waste scabs.
Yeah.
Like, why? That's coagulated blood. That's some fucking protein right there, bruv.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But I mean, that's just
my skin. Or fucking, what is it? Gold member. You remember? He's like,
yeah, baby.
He's like, you gonna eat? Are you gonna eat that? When he pulls off a fucking scab, he's like, no.
But yeah, no, that was just a quick-handed story, really quick.
Yeah, no, that shit was fucked up, dude. I remember I saw you the next day, dude. And like I was like, that literally looks horrifying, dude.
No, that was the most blessed. I want to tell you the fucked up part of this story. Yeah. So when I burned my face, I mean, here's the thing. We were last episode, just a hint on this note really quick. Me and Bear, who talked about it the past week, is we were talking about us working at Chicken Shack and the negativity that we got from there. But also at the same time, that was probably the most fun job we've had.
Yeah.
And we had a great time.
And maybe we were saying stuff about the boss, but dude, I thought about it afterwards. I was like, I really enjoyed him. He's
still a good guy.
I love him as a person.
Yeah. Just
as a boss, it wasn't comfortable for me.
It's shifty.
Yeah.
For us, me and you, our personalities, of course.
It just didn't clash. Yeah.
Yeah, we still love him.
That's it. Yeah.
But so the day I burned my face, it happens that I guess you would call it the president of Chicken Shack, they go around and they make sure that every chicken chat's holding up the quality of their standards, you know? So
was it
they
his
check
aunt?
like it was aunt.
No,
Or
okay.
yeah, I think it was his aunt. Yeah, his aunt.
Because, okay, our owner, his grandparents founded Chicken Shack, by the way. We never
Yeah.
really went on that. So
Big family.
Yeah.
Big
Yes,
happy
exactly,
family.
exactly.
But so one of his aunts, she's involved in the company too. So she would come by and do checks as in, are you holding the broasters at the right temperature? Are you holding the right amount of food? Are you marinating properly? Just all the techniques. They would analyze the pro quo of Chicken Shack, like what they say they do and what they do.
Yeah.
Like they're just evaluating
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So when me burning my face, she happened to walk in at that point,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Go in back, go in the cooler," because I burned my face. So I got the coldest water I possibly could on a rag, hopped on top of one of the chicken tanks,
Yeah.
so that my face was directly in front of the fan of the chicken cooler that was blowing 30-degree air
Dude,
out.
that would hurt so bad.
So I'm just sitting there because this is all that feels good.
Yeah.
Is me
But
sitting
that
in
still
front of this.
hurts.
It hurts so
yeah,
bad.
because you're getting some sort of sensation happening.
Yeah, so it felt, but that was the easiest sensation.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there covering my entire face with rags.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You can't leave yet. You can't leave yet." She calls our boss.
Yeah.
He comes up, and then she's like, "You can leave. You can drive to the hospital now."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I can't drive to the hospital.
Yeah, with like
I have a
half my
towel on
eye-
my face.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't do that."
Exactly.
So that's why, like, this is why we love our bosses. At the end of the day, he was an awesome guy. He drove me to the hospital.
Yeah.
He sat there and waited till my mom got there and talked
Yeah.
to her for 20 minutes, and
Yeah.
then he dipped out because he had to make sure the company was okay.
Yeah.
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
That was a good
Yeah,
move
of
on his
course,
part.
man. Dude, there's multiple times that he definitely looked out for me, dude. Multiple times that he helped me out when like my car broke down. Dude, I remember him and his mom offered to pay for like part of my car and stuff like
Wow.
that. Remember when I got the new the new Lincoln and I was like,
Yeah.
and like I got in that accident. I still came to work that day. I was like, hey, dude, I'll be like an hour late, you know, because I just got in an accident.
I remember you calling me and telling me about that, man.
Exactly.
That was
So,
rough.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, dude, I gotta figure out something quick. We gotta go quick. And he's like, dude, me and my mom will like, you know, give you like $1,000. I was like, well, like I just don't want that. Like I've never been a person.
Me and you
that,
don't take handouts like that.
I've never. But I always appreciate the gesture.
Of course.
Dude, 100%. That's somebody looking out for you, and don't ever deny it, people. You know what I mean? Don't ever be like, no, of course I'd never do that. Like, you know, don't be a dick about it. I've had multiple people when I even try and give handouts because honestly, I feel bad in a lot of contexts. So for many things that happen to people, and I'm like, dude, I'll give you like $40 or something like that, and
Tank
they'll
of
be
gas
like,
and some
yeah,
food.
dude. I've had people be like, they're like, are you fucking kidding me? Why would you ever offer me anything? Like I want handouts from anybody.
Because I love you.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's me caring about you.
Mm-hmm.
That's me caring about you. Cause anyways, a little
bit of diversion, but that's who we are.
Yeah. But you know, just a little lesson for everybody. You know, be grateful for handouts that people are willing to give you. That's something that don't have to do ever.
It almost
You
never
don't have
happens.
to take it. You don't have to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, don't take it. I'm saying fend for yourself, but
The only time I would ever take a handout is if it was towards my main mission in life, and I know I'm going to complete it.
well, yeah.
But
also,
it
another
wouldn't even be a
handout
handout at that
handout
point.
that I wouldn't take is the only handout I would take is if I'm buster poor living on the street and somebody's like, hey, I'll let you stay in my house and I'll give you
Yeah.
$100 a
100%.
month or something like that. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Like I appreciate that so much, but like any other which way, while I'm doing well for myself right now and I'm doing okay enough where I can survive and stuff like that, I don't need a handout. You know what I mean? I can cover my own shit.
Yeah. The only time in the past, I would say, 3 years or 4 years, the only handout I've taken was my mom said, oh, I'll cover your bill on your car insurance this month because I know that you're having a hard time trying to get your...
Or me getting your shirt at Crystalia.
Yeah. By the way, I owe Bearhood $20 if I'm not on the next episode. You know why?
Yeah, I kicked him off. I kicked him off.
Hey, he made me move out of my own house.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just like, no, you're not fit for this. You're not welcome anymore.
I just started inviting people over to your fucking house. I'm like, you're like,
Yeah,
dude,
no,
can I
you
just get in, dude? Can I just please be bagged? I'm like, no. Do you have the $20 fucking dollars?
By the way, we have this open room with a king size bed. Yeah, you can stay in that. Bro.
Yeah, exactly. I just start inviting people to stay.
Renting out my room for free to people. Hey, man, if it makes money for the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, dude, whatever I have to do to allow myself to be back on.
No worries. I'm not worried.
No, Trevor will be out of here in 2 months. All right.
Yeah, no, it's not a choice of mine. It's for the better of the people. No, just kidding. But let's get into,
Yeah, what were we talking about though? Yeah, so I want to say I want to say 2 little stories afterwards. But what's been going on for the week with you? We just talked about my little fucking burn story. Burn victim Jerry over here.
No. It's Terry this week, okay.
Burn
Parks and
victim
Rec
Terry,
reference.
dude.
Parks and Rec
Oh,
reference.
God. Nor Terry Crews because I'm so buff and black.
My core is blasted, dog.
Yeah, dude. Old Spice.
I mean, I guess my week, it's mainly, I've been sitting here concentrating on the podcast, just sitting there thinking, but I guess this week is more of just me trying to implement strategies to be able to operate on social media conveniently and appropriately and to be able to draw in some views. I mean, that's going to take time, of course. But other than that, I've been picking up extra hours on work. Last week, I worked before the episode came out, which I'm very grateful I didn't have to work this week because I felt like kind of a zombie after the last episode. Not that I was just groggy as hell. Just, I was up for 10 hours.
Yeah.
I woke up early this morning, took a nice long nap before you even text me that you were coming over.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty refreshed. But I mean, yeah, honestly, I'm trying to clutter my weeks the least amount right now to keep my headspace clear.
Of course.
It's just
that's
for
what
this.
you should be doing. Yeah.
Because, like I said, I applied for that job online.
Yeah.
To be able, if it's correct. If it happens, I'll let you guys know. Otherwise, it's not a big deal. I don't need to say anything.
Hey, sorry. 1 second. Let me, I just want to get some slack on that. That's kind of bothering me.
I got you.
Because it's like pulling it too tight at
I
the
got
bottom
you.
here.
Is that good?
Sorry, Yeah. Just pull.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can pull that back down on that side. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, we had just correcting the XLR cable. Yeah, so, I mean, there's a company I applied to. It's definitely a great opportunity for me to be able to invest more time into this. It wouldn't affect my current job or anything, but just an extra form of income. I've just been trying to strategize my life to be able to make the most money in the least amount of time so I have the most free time to be able to invest into this.
Of course, yeah.
I would be happy just to be able to have 2 or 3 straight days of just social media interaction and editing our videos, editing the sound, finding out, just learning, operating on programs. But I mean, that's pretty much been my week. Most of the time when I get home from work, I just try and watch an hour or 2 hours of videos to learn something.
Yeah.
Be able to say, put a stamp on the day, say, I learned this.
Of course, yeah. Of course.
Dude,
I love doing that too, man. To an extent, it keeps me up all night, which is bad. You know what I mean? Because
your attention span's like that, though.
Yeah.
Because in the sense, once you drive onto something, 5 hours.
Yes, exactly. But if
but
we've talked about this problem with me. I have to be doing something that involves me or involves me actually thinking and doing something. Because like me and Trevor used to hang out, and it was like, I'm not gonna lie. Well, I'm not gonna lie. It was boring, dude. It was boring.
Easy.
For me,
I'm talking about before.
Yeah.
Like as in at work.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. But like we used to hang out, and like I'd come over here and we'd just like sit and like you'd play video games or something, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like I see how people can do this, and like me and you would barely say shit to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how this podcast came to be, because once we actually started like straying away from just playing video games and like started actually having conversations, we were like, holy shit, like we're going for a 4-hour conversation at this point. You know what I mean? So
yeah, not to say is that our relationship was based off of video games, but just
that's where a lot of it started.
Yeah, that's where our common interest started. That and me and Barahu always had this. We had this idea about each other is that when we put on our music playlist at work, it was like, I like that.
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
It might not even be the music I listen to, but it's like, I get why you're
Exactly.
listening to that.
Exactly.
You know?
There's a duality to it. I'm sure, dude, because I'm such a different character to what you're used to, and you're such a different character to what I'm used to.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I've lived all my life with these fucking hooligans, you know what I mean? And
Well,
then,
you're just
then
that you
came
hung out
along.
with outgoing, outspoken people, and
Yes,
I'm a more
exactly.
reserved person.
Yes,
You know?
exactly.
I want to
Exactly.
correct that in myself, but I appreciate that about you. Like
Yes.
the fact that you have the confidence to actually,
Yeah,
you know,
to
be you.
say whatever and do whatever. But yeah, and I've seen your friends, and they're a lot more reserved. You know, that is very true towards that, and vice versa for me. So I think once we got past that, that was the duality that we needed to get past. It was, you know, there was things that we really liked about each other, and then it was like, but this is so culture shock to what I'm used to.
And to be fair, I didn't estimate Barahu's tolerance very quickly. Is from the get-go, I got him as a happy-go-lucky guy, so I started to give him a hard time.
Yeah,
Barahu hated me for probably the first 2 weeks we worked together.
it wasn't I hated you. It was
You disliked my presence.
dude, I just got fucking really pissed off. I was like, why the fuck is this dude being such an asshole? Like, I've been nothing. Well, dude, I have that problem with a lot of people where it's like I'll show them nothing but respect. You know what I mean? And I you know me, dude, I don't usually, more than often, I'm the guy that's like, hey, dude, stop saying
Step
like, stop.
back.
Yeah,
Step back, dog.
Yeah, exactly. Hold down, you know, stand down kind of thing. So like, I guess when somebody doesn't show you respect and you don't give them any respect, I kind of understand. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, yeah, I understand why you're not giving them respect. But like when somebody gives you a bunch of respect, which I usually tend to do, you know, sometimes I'll fuck with people. I'll be like,
I don't ever think I've seen you
push
come
buttons.
straight up to somebody and be disrespectful ever.
no, I don't think I could, dude.
You're reserved in that sense.
Yeah,
You give that respective note. At the
Yeah,
beginning.
exactly. I don't give them all of myself. It takes me a week to bust out of the shell with any person. Where
Takes
I'm
me
like,
way longer.
yeah. Dude,
Probably about
everyone's
3
like
months,
that.
4
Yeah,
months.
You're a very average person with that, though. I'm to a flaw. You know what I mean? People get fucking tired of my shit real quick, so I have to find friends. That's a big fucking thing. Is like, I'm intense. Like, you know,
I don't even think that intense is the right word. Is just your. I don't know what word you would give for being just out there. Like you're just exponentially more.
well, that's what I'm saying with intense though. It's like it's a lot for people to handle. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't have an intense personality. I'm not like fucking staring you in the eye like.
Yeah, I guess that's just coming. I guess it's just coming from my point of view and how I'd take you.
Yeah,
So
it's just
you're
like-
probably more right.
Yeah. I think it's just it's hard for people to fucking be like, hey, this isn't crazy as shit, because I'm not crazy. I like to act this way. It amuses me while amusing other people, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so like, I don't know. It's sometimes too much for people, and the same for you. There's sometimes
I can definitely see where I'm too much.
yeah. With some of the shit that you say, you know,
because the way
you push boundaries, you push.
Well, no, that's what I was going to come across as is I'm the type of person that if I can see a problem directly with what you're saying or what you're doing, I might not believe it, but I'm going to play the devil's advocate just to be Trevor.
Yeah,
because that's who I am.
exactly.
So I'll sit there and play the devil's advocate. People will. That's something I'm working on though, is because I want that to tone down 100%, not 100, probably I would say 85%.
Yeah.
So that I don't want to give off the impression that people feel like they can't talk. And I like hearing people's opinions. I just love debating.
Yeah.
That's what comes down to the end of the day. Of
course,
me. I love to discuss opinions and discuss differences. But a lot of people, the way I come off, I could 100% understand how people feel like they're put on the defensive.
You come pretty offensive a lot.
Yeah,
you know
so
what I mean?
that's something I've been trying to work on.
Yeah.
And I noticed that's somebody I've listened to his podcast or just some of his work is Pete Dominic. He was also on
sounds really familiar.
Joe Rogan's podcast. He was on a news channel. He actually got cut off stand up with Pete Dominic. He was on a news channel. I forget which one.
Yeah,
but he's the exec. As in, they're like, yeah, you're not doing the show anymore.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't bad blood.
Yeah,
They let him start his podcast with the same name. They didn't steal his name. They wouldn't let him. They wouldn't like force him to make a new name.
Okay, so they didn't hold the rights on him.
But he's the same way as me. So I listened to him and Joe Rogan's podcast this past day and a half, and he has a lot of similarities with me, where I could see him coming on strong. Because at the end of the podcast, they ended up saying was, Joe said to him is, you were coming off a little, I didn't take it as argumentative, but your tone sounded argumentative, but I know where you were coming from.
Sure, yeah.
And so I never am sitting here trying to have an argument with somebody. I just love debates. I don't care if we come to...
Same with me. Yeah, we've debated even.
Yeah, but you're not as hard-headed.
Of course. I'm willing to change my mind on stuff.
And you're also a little bit more willing.
Not like a fucking Steven Crowder where he says change my mind, but he's gonna
just
hold,
clap your cheeks on.
Yeah, he's gonna hold that, But in a lot of ways, a lot of that shit's non-debatable. So you know what I mean? He's
arguing biologically.
Yeah, and he argues in absolutes. That's the thing. He goes, well, you can't really disprove this because by the fucking definition of what I'm saying is right. Now you're bringing emotion into this and shit. And he's like, well, just factually, like definitively speaking, I'm right. And there's nothing that could change my mind on it because you can't dissuade facts. You know what I mean?
I feel like he's the next step below Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, I'd say so. I really, dude. Okay, so I really enjoy Jordan Peterson. Everything he says.
I feel he's a little too hard-headed.
Well, yes, and I'm never going to bring politics in anything, and I don't really choose any sort of certain side.
Yeah, I don't listen to him for politics.
Yeah, exactly. I literally just listen to him because he has such a fucking straightforward thinking, you know what I mean, that doesn't dissuade for feelings and shit like that.
Yeah, it's consistent.
Yeah, it's just this is biological fucking it's just like he says, like, this is biologically like inclined, we're biologically inclined to be this way, like whatever, dominance and fucking shit like that. And if you really listen to it, he's not a sexist, he's not a genderist, and he's
not a racist.
Yeah, not a racist, nothing like that. If you really listen and break down what he's saying, he's just saying, like, this shit is fucked up, but he's like, but the way that we handle it is wrong. And I agree with it. And, and he's not picking a certain party or anything like that. He's just his own fucking thing. He's just talking about what he believes to be correct. And why can't we let anybody do that? That's what we talked about. Why can't we just let somebody, if they think they're correct, let them talk about it. It's not going to change your mind if you know what you believe in. You know what I mean? It shouldn't change your mind, but you should at least be able to say, hey, well, I see this person's passionate about this, and I totally understand, I understand why this would affect them that way, and whatever, But anyways, so we're kind of distracted from...
Hey, man, that's what we do. That's Adam and Barry, baby.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Adam and Trevor, not Adam and Barry.
Adam and Barry. Yep. You're getting kicked off the show,
right,
dude.
I mean, 2 months. 2 months. 2 months.
It's Adam and Barry, dude.
It's counting down.
Oh, man. Anyways, no, but okay, so you said there was something. So I want to talk to you about this real quick, and then we'll go to your story, and we'll come back on one thing from me.
So we're just heading on things we've seen throughout the week.
So this is really funny. Okay, so my kitchen manager, Marco, he goes, he's like, yeah, man, well, I was talking to him about the podcast, and we were talking about episode 2 that we're talking about like some spooky shit. And he's like, you guys talk about like Bigfoot and stuff like that? I was like, nah, we didn't talk about that, dude. I was like, maybe we'll talk about it for sure down the line, dude.
Just the play.
I don't believe in this shit in the slightest. Whatever, you know what I mean? I'm not even gonna rattle into that. We'll save that for a totally different episode. But anyway, so he tells me this story. He's like, yeah, so my father-in-law, no, soon to be cousin-in-law or something like that, second cousin. Would you call that a second cousin?
Well, second,
It's
basically,
it's
like if you're
okay, so I'll explain it. So it's his fiance's cousin. So I think it's a second cousin or a cousin once removed.
Once removed is through divorces and stuff. I don't remember, dude. I remember looking up removed through divorces a couple years ago. It's so weird. Either way, they're a distant cousin, or they're a cousin of you. I don't know. That conversation gets so complicated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So, anyways, so he was telling me this story about this guy that's in his family somehow. I don't want to put relations on it. Let's just say is his name Paul Bunyan? An uncle. He's an uncle or something like that. He's his fiance's uncle, something like that. So this dude is full on dedicated to fucking hunting Sasquatch, and he's like he's like showing Marco these fucking. He's like, yeah, and Marco talks really funny, so I'll try and do the Marco. He's like, yeah, so I was talking to him about it, and he's like, yeah, well, yeah, he found these Bigfoot howls in the middle of nowhere, and he's like
howls.
He's like, I was recording them, and Marco goes, oh, where was it? And he's like, Detroit. And Marco literally looks at me and he goes, Bigfoot's in the middle of Detroit? Could you fucking imagine that?
Oh, man. I mean, hey, dude, they did find those coyotes just north of Detroit.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
That's weird, dude.
Sasquatch?
Sam Squat?
Yeah.
I'm feeling like there's a decent
that's
stretch.
That's why we haven't found him, though, dude. He's hiding in plain fucking inside.
Dude, he's just in some dude's basement.
He's hanging out with the gangbangers, dude, in a fucking abandoned house, dude.
He's the one that goes to all the drug deals gone wrong, dude. Beats the fuck out of everybody and leaves, dude. You can shoot him with an AK 5 times, be like, fuck you.
You know how Detroit has a heroin epidemic? That's all because of Bigfoot, dude. He's the biggest fucking
slinging heroin
pin, dude.
He's just slinging heroin.
He's like got fucking shades on and shit, sitting counting money, dude, in this fucking trap house, dude, in a fucking white suit.
It's just like they walk out and he's like,
yeah, okay, yeah, we'll get right on that. We'll get right on. Yeah, 30 bag, yeah. He's got a fucking 357 sitting on the table, face towards the other day.
He's just playing like fucking. He's spinning and shit.
Breaks all his fucking chairs every time because he's so fucking massive. Fucking makes the whole house smell like fucking dirty oats and shit. Anyways,
I guess to retract from this note, I guess we're trying to start to do some form of tech review every episode.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it, 2 episodes ago? Maybe 1? But we were talking about that we were going to watch Blackfish. Yeah. So we ended up sitting down and watching Blackfish because Barahoo, he's seen it multiple times.
I watched it about 4 times. Every single time. Last night was the only time I didn't cry.
I could hear you over there.
Yeah, I was sniffling a little bit.
Yeah. No, I could hear you. Not that
that's
I'm
also
making
because
fun.
I'm getting sick.
Oh yeah, no, I was just I was hearing us like because at that point it was a rough part to me.
Yeah,
and then I heard you breathe.
Yeah,
and I'm like, it's rough to him too, man.
Yeah.
But honestly, so he's seen this movie before.
Yeah. What did you think about it?
I never saw it before, so this is my first reaction. But I guess what appalls me. Just my overall reaction to the movie, because there were a lot of trainers that were interviewed in that movie.
Yeah.
I can understand, but it appalls me at how influenced those trainers were to believe what they were doing was okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, because clearly they noticed how frustrated those whales were getting.
Yeah.
And they directly manipulated stats to make it look like the whales are happy.
Yeah, not the trainers per se, but SeaWorld and other parks and stuff like that.
Yeah, the higher ups.
Cohesively, we're doing this all together.
Hands down, every single one of those trainers stayed there because of how much they love those whales.
They're all great people, dude. Imagine.
Amazing people.
Yeah, imagine. Here's one thing that I'm jealous of them for, is that they got to have such intimate moments with these with these beautiful, wild, beautiful creatures. Man, beyond any point, dude, that I could ever express, dude. I looked at my dog after we watched that after we watched that movie yesterday, and it just made me a little bit upset inside, dude. Like I was just like,
What do you mean? Like how upset?
Oh, dude, I was just like sad. I was like, we're like, you know, you're like in my house like all the time, and like, I know that's such a boring life, dude. Because she's in the house more than I am, dude. You know what I mean? I'll take her for walks and stuff like that, but like,
so you're looking at your house as the pool for orcas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. It's so sad. Like, I mean, obviously we can't undomesticate dogs. We can't just fucking release them in the wild. They'll die. You know what I mean? It's impossible. But it's like, it's sad to me that these creatures, we keep them around for our benefit, if that makes sense. We literally sit here and we keep them in our
domain.
Yeah, for our own amusement or our own comfort. It has nothing to do with their comfort. And yes, we did it before for certain tasks that needed to be done. We needed something found. We created a bloodhound. We bred a bloodhound. We needed things to fight bears. We made the pit bull or the bull mastiff, or you know what I mean. Those things would fucking fight lion or tigers and shit.
Yeah, three or four bull mastiffs, dude. They could help you mess up a bear.
They would by themselves or with another one would take down a tiger. I'm confident. The Tibetan mastiff, dude. Oh,
those
man.
things are huge. They look like lions, dude. They have manes like lions, dude.
Exactly.
If you've never seen a Tibetan mastiff, Google it.
Yeah.
It is scary.
Yeah, exactly. The first, I think probably one of the first images will be it snarling.
Growling like a lion. Yeah, dude. It's terrifying.
Jesus.
That's a dog. That is a dog you can have in your house.
Exactly.
That's not a wild animal.
And do not get one if you're not a seasoned dog owner.
Mm-hmm. They're a chore.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, what would you rate the movie just for people? And tell me
out of 5 stars?
Yeah, tell me what really got to you. I mean,
I guess I would rate that movie 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And it's not simply because, the angles, the way it encapsulated me.
Yeah.
It was, the entire movie was emotionally captivating.
Yeah.
As in, and it wasn't to a degree where these poor whales, these poor this, these poor that. It was just displaying to you their everyday daily environment. Yeah. As in the first, the whale's name is Tillamook, right? Tilikum.
Yeah.
The whale that it mainly followed was Tilikum. And it showed that the first park, when he was captured and he went to, it was just this small park on the edge of the Pacific Ocean.
Dude, I always
Sea land.
Yeah.
Sea land.
Yeah.
They literally had those 3 whales. Yeah. They said they specialize in whales. That was it.
Yeah.
That's all they had. And at night, they would get locked in the same cage together.
Yeah.
And almost every night, a day that Tillamook would come out. Tilikum. Sorry, I don't know why I keep on thinking Tillamook. That's Indian. Native American.
You're just fucking swapping around the.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah. So Tilikum.
Yeah.
He'd be covered in all these scratches.
Yeah.
Because at least they were saying in the movie the
adult females would.
It's a matriarchal.
Rake at them.
Yeah, like rake their teeth.
Yeah.
Running across like their teeth across his skin.
Yeah.
Not to kill him, but to draw pain, because the way that they trained the whales is they had trained whales when Tilikum came in. And if Tilikum did not follow the tricks that they wanted him to do, they would punish
both.
All the whales.
All the whales,
yes.
Yeah, which was only 3 of them. But.
Yeah, so the 2 females would get punished along with Tilikum.
Yeah.
And the punishment was they couldn't eat. And the way they'd show that is when they come up out of the water, they would pause their bodies, hold still for 3 seconds. Yeah. And then start giving him more instruction. That 3-second pause, let them know, no, you didn't do it right.
Response, yeah.
Yeah, it's a neutral response. You didn't do it right. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
So I guess what was harping on my emotions the entire movie was how abused that whale was and how observationally nice it was.
Yeah.
Because even though that whale was abused,
it
still showed more affection to humans, and they trusted him more than any other whale, even though he killed people. And you could tell that whale was upset whenever he did something wrong, and it's just like a human.
Yeah, I think to an extent. I mean,
well, as in you could read his, like, the way he was not listening.
Yeah,
coming up to the
it's
dawn.
pure frustration. I mean, it it wasn't that he was sad or anything. I think there was tremendous sadness, but
Well, the mom
I
cried for days.
Yeah,
when
that
he
was
got taken.
not when he got taken. His mom was dead. His
yeah,
mom
it was
died.
it was the Katatsu. Kataka.
I think.
One of the moms he worked
Kotaku
with.
or Kataka, and then her baby got taken away from her. This is I strongly recommend if you guys haven't seen this, and we'll be talking about it. So I'd like you to see it afterwards, or pause the episode right now and go watch it and come back. You know,
honestly,
what I mean?
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
But it's literally it's horrifying, and you can find it on Netflix. The whole movie's on there. I felt like it was a little bit longer when I watched it when I was on demand. I felt like it was like 2 hours or something because they talked about ancient, like, I don't remember why. Like the first time I watched it or the second time I watched it, even I watched it a couple times on demand. I rented it, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it like 2 times in this 24 hours or maybe it was 7 days or something like that. So yeah, you get to rent it for 7 days or 3 days or something. So I watched it a few times then. But I felt like they talked about like more the Native American myths of it a little bit more.
All they really did was hint on it being called Blackfish.
Yeah, that's it. And I remember them showing like totem poles and like how important it was. And I feel like they even interviewed some chief and stuff like that and like how important they were. Like I remember that very, very vividly. But anyways, yeah, you guys can go watch it. But it's absolutely devastating that we have these creatures that you could put on par with a human. Now imagine,
Easily.
Yeah, imagine. Now imagine somebody has you locked up for 8 hours, right? 10 hours, 12 hours in pure darkness, okay? While you're a child too at that point, while you're 4 years old. And then for 8 hours, 10 hours, you come out into the daylight and they have you doing tricks. They literally have you, to get your food, you have to do a ridiculous sequence of something. And if you do it wrong, you don't get to eat. And then you go back in that. And then you go back in that enclosure.
Yeah, the enclosure where they slept was their strategy of starving.
Yeah.
Was in holding them out in that cage.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why Tilikum got raked so much.
Yeah.
It's because those females were starving when they got locked in that cage, and they raked them because they knew it was, in quotations, his fault.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. So, and I believe they knew, that's such a humanistic trait to place blame.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any animals ever do that. Where
Not
they're like,
that way
I
at all.
blame you. I literally blame you for that. Like, I've never seen an animal do that. Where it's like, they look at another one when, besides maybe dogs sometimes, when it's like you're touching my food.
Yeah.
That's it. But that's not even blame.
But that's directly related to something they want.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. That's somebody interjecting on a want of theirs, not getting in their, not stopping them from eating for a day.
Yeah, and I guess to harp on that intelligence level was like how, I mean, you can talk about it, was those whale hunters and how they were chasing those.
Oh, yeah,
orcas.
yeah. Okay, so we were just watching this video maybe 30 minutes ago about this group of people, and they were just looking at there's actually 2 videos, but this video in particular, they were thinking that it was like aggressive for a second, and by the end you're looking at it and you're seeing that these orcas could attack at any point.
You're talking about chasing the boat?
Yeah, when they're chasing the boat.
Yeah,
oh, is that
so
the one that you're talking about?
Well, I was talking about more of the
one where they're displaying like
the hunting routes and how they separated breeds.
Oh.
Yeah, as in the females and the children.
Oh, okay. You're talking about that one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you're still talking about Blackfish. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So
no,
we're
you're
gonna
good.
step back
You're good.
really
Yeah,
quick,
yeah. So, there was when they were chasing Tilikum and his, I think they called him pods. They call them pods.
Yeah, it's a pod.
Yeah, it's a pod. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. They were chasing his pod, And the males did something that was incredibly smart, and the females did something that was incredibly smart, and they probably communicated because there's very, very sufficient evidence that these things communicate more diversely than us, even in a more diverse tone than us, with more like tonalities and more complications.
As in, they can even make up their own sounds for a specific whale.
Yeah.
As in, if they love a certain whale and they want to portray a specific emotion, they make a sound specifically for that feeling for that whale.
And I said this in the previous video, but it's like introducing, like, if you have two different whales from two different parts of the world.
Two different orcas.
To be
specific for this conversation.
Orcas, killer whales, but I feel like that's such a barbaric thing to call them, killer whales.
Yeah, I like calling them orcas, to be honest.
Yeah. I like killer whales, dude. It sounds so badass.
Yeah.
Dude, they look so fucking cool, dude. And then you call them a killer whale.
Right.
Yes. Dude, they're just like, they look like spirits of the sea. You know what I mean? Do you know what like, they look like something mythological. It's fucking absolutely
Orcas
insane.
were probably the sirens to what, Odysseus or whatever his name was.
Good, dude. Man, he described them as beautiful women.
They're not beautiful women.
Yeah.
They're orcas.
Yeah, that'd be a fucking ugly woman. But a beautiful creature.
Yeah, going off, they're when they were being hunted.
Yeah. So the women split off and
with the children.
Took the children, because in the pods the babies stay by the mothers forever, for their whole entire lives. Until the mother passes away. And they split off, and they started going down different channels, and this was in I think it was like an archipelago.
It looked like the Everglades, but in an Arctic setting with all the weird river trails and stuff.
Well, it was in
no, wasn't it Norway?
No, this is in Washington. That was Washington, and then they went to Iceland after.
So it was like the Finger Lakes of Washington, kind of.
Yes, yeah, it's like an archipelago.
Yeah,
or a delta. Could be a delta. But anyway, so the females split off, and the males went a separate way, and the males stayed above the water, so that the chasers would think that they're still following, because they're trying to get the babies. Now the females and the calves stayed underwater. And they stayed submerged, but at some point they have to come up for air. And at that moment, they had the seaplane above them, and it saw down and, triangulated their position.
They're going north instead of west.
Yes,
whatever,
exactly, something like that. And so they triangulated their position, and they all converged and put a net around them, and a giant net and a circle around them, and trapped them in, and that was it. Yeah, I mean, they got the babies, and they even said they killed 3 orcas, 3 grown, mature orcas, just to
get those babies.
Yeah,
because they were like defending them while they were in the net.
Yep.
And another thing to note about it is to show humanistic traits is that family of all the orcas that did not get captured rounded around that net and were howling and screaming the entire.
That was later.
Either way, even if it was later,
they probably did, realistically, but the guy didn't account for that.
Well, that was a separate guy from like a different time, but something he noted was that the orcas, they followed them and went back to that net, and they were howling and screaming and communicating with the babies and vice versa.
They probably did. I mean, it didn't say that at all in the only time it said that.
It said that in the movie, dude.
Yeah, the only time it said that was when they were in SeaWorld, the actual enclosure.
No, it did not. No, it did not. You weren't paying attention.
I've watched that movie 4 times.
I'm telling you, the guy that looks like he's from ZZ Top said that.
Yeah.
So if you go into that movie, you'll see the guy, because he was talking about specifically capturing.
He looks like a biker.
He looks like a biker, and he said as the moment he cried was when he realized that the whales were calling back and forth to each other, and he's ended up crying, and he could not finish his work.
Maybe.
That,
Yeah.
No, it's not maybe. That's what he said, dude.
Okay. All right. Fucking relax, guy. I'm just saying, I didn't see that.
No, that was in the movie.
Okay.
You know, like
Anyways.
that, just because like I don't want to take away from the point is the communication between these animals is extremely intelligent.
Yes.
And the way they interact with each other is just out of this world. Like, I guess the normality of how you feel animals would talk to each other.
Yes.
Orcas are, if not the same or higher, they're a step below humans. You know,
I'd say probably a step below.
Yeah.
Emotionally, they're way far fucking beyond us.
Mm-hmm.
We're like realistically that moment, and I remember it made me cry when they were talking about Kotaku or Kataka.
that's what it was.
And yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, no, because the mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, when the baby was taken away from her, they literally said we heard something that's never been recorded and never been observed ever among 200 years of orca research. We heard a mom trying to long distance, over a very, very long distance, trying to communicate to her baby because she knew that the baby was gone out of the park completely.
Yeah, she was trying to find her.
Yeah, over a long distance and doing a long distance call. That is absolutely heartbreaking, dude.
Yeah, it's just because the whale, after it was taken, they noted that for the first, they didn't say when it moved, but it was checked on the first hour the baby left, and then the third hour after it left, and they said the whale did not move.
Yeah,
from its spot. It was just sitting there making those noises. Did not swim, did not move its fins, nothing. It just, that's how depressed it was that it lost its child. Is it just it sat there.
And the same was
cried.
seen of Tillicum when he was put into the enclosure at the end, because basically what happened is, we'll kind of go through what happened throughout the video of Tillicum. So he got very frustrated at Sealand because of all this and being raked by the other whales, by the other orcas, and he was attacked, and then he took out his frustration on
Branchaw.
No. This is at Sealand.
That was the Branchaw was the chick that got killed at Sealand.
No, Don Branchaw is the one at SeaWorld. Is the main story.
Oh,
is the one? She was a senior
I'm remembering
trainer.
the last name. I think I wrote down the first one. Yeah, because Dawn was the one at SeaWorld, and was it like Kelsey?
I don't know.
Kelsey?
I'm not gonna try.
Either way, yeah.
I'll give the name in 2 seconds.
But I guess it was a trainer that was working at Sealand where Tillicum first came. That was off the coast of Washington, right? Was it California or Washington?
I think it was in California. Was where Sealand was.
Yeah, and it was in a port and a pier.
Yes.
Where they basically built off the pier and made a big fish tank / holding tank for the whales.
It was just nets holding them in.
Yeah.
Then Kelty Burn. Sealand of the Pacific. So he displayed that behavior, and they didn't really know that it was Tillicum. They thought it was the trainer's fault, and she had drowned, and
one of the other whales did it too. They blamed on one of the other whales.
Yes, they blamed it on one of the females. Now all the eyewitness testimony, even the 2 ladies that were interviewed, said
Blackfish.
On the movie. It was the big one. It was because he's the male. He's the only male there. He's much larger. It's the male one. He was the one with the flopped over fin is the one that did it. And Tillicum was very well known at SeaWorld and Sealand as the flopped over fin orca. Now, he was massive too.
12,000 pounds, dude.
Yeah, 12,000 pounds. It's a big boy. That's a big boy. And I think the females only really get up to like about 8,000 to 9,000 pounds, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's an extra 3. That's over a ton extra.
Well, just watching the movie, you can see how large he is.
Yeah.
He is massive.
Yeah, exactly. Compared to all the other ones, yep, he's just giant. And basically, so they have him transported to SeaWorld because he's a male, and they're using him for the sperm. His sperm is worth a ton, to breed and do all that inside SeaWorld. So basically, they keep on doing this and transfer him around. They transfer him to SeaWorld, and he has a couple of times where, it was kind of shown how he acts, and there's certain times where he'd like bump into people and like do weird stuff and
like an awkward lunge. Almost.
Yeah, or just kind of wouldn't display behaviors attributed to a trained orca, and he ended up. There's a man who, and this is a very, 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 very famous story. It was the man who snuck into SeaWorld and got butt naked and swam with the whale and died of hypothermia. I remember that when that happened.
So do I.
Yeah. And he ended up, they say he was naked and drowned of hypothermia, but when they opened the park in the morning, Tilcum was parading him around on his back, bit off his genitals. I think extremities were like maimed and stuff like that.
All the injuries that were played to him, along with his genitals, it was as if he was playing with him.
Yeah,
he wasn't trying to eat him and kill him.
Well, it was almost like a sport.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It looked like he was playing.
Yeah. Well, he knew what he did.
Well, as in the sense, to him, it's a game.
He's fucking parading him around, dude.
I'm gonna prove a point.
He's like a fucking Charles Manson, dude.
Yeah.
He's fucking sick in the head, dude. This animal.
He's got a psychosis.
Yes, exactly.
After being mistreated for years.
Exactly.
And years. Yeah.
Exactly. And that just shows you how human they really are. We shouldn't even say human. It's just how intelligent, dude. Because why would you ever want to be human? Why would you ever want to even be compared? We're the fucking apex of intelligence, dude. We're sickening creatures, dude.
And if we got dropped in the middle of nature, we'd be fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime we get dropped in the desert, the rainforest, anywhere.
There's occasions where people can survive, but more than likely, no, you're not making it through. So he was parading him around, and I even feel bad saying that he was like Charles Manson or anything like that, because, dude, yes, it's sickening what he did, but he didn't really understand to an extent what he was doing. But it's the same as like when you torture a kid and they grow up to be a serial killer. You know what I mean? Very similar. Very similar. Very, very, very similar. But I'd say on this instance, it's a little bit different because he understands, dude. He understands like that maybe he didn't do something right because they locked him in that cage. Basically, he just does like the short bows at the end, and then he goes back in his enclosure. And that's his whole life. But you can see how depressed he is because he knows maybe what he did was a little bit wrong. But in the same aspect, it's not wrong because he's acting out after years of torture and being held captive. It's never right. And I shouldn't say that it's his fault. It's not his fault. It's not his fault at all. Because, what would you do if you were held captive?
Try and kill him, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's exactly.
Exactly. And you couldn't escape. There's no way that you can escape because you're fucking so far away from water. They can't escape like we can.
No, just it would be the mentality of
yeah.
They don't know but it'd be get out or die trying.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's the scary part too, is I've been to SeaWorld.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I could easily tell how little control they actually had over those animals.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a couple times where it was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't, well, there'd be something that didn't go according to plan.
Mm-hmm. I was at one of those, man. Not that the whale did anything bad, but just the whale did not cooperate very well.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I got the perspective a lot from when I was young, is just, I don't know, I wouldn't go back to SeaWorld because I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
And
it's a little bit different, I'd say, if it was a place for rehabilitation.
And they had a pool that was 15 times larger than what they lived
exactly.
in.
And they didn't parade them around as trick animals and stuff like that.
As in there were enclosures like, look at them.
Yeah.
Like sea otters. You
like
just
if there was a lady
you know?
swimming with them, cool, but like they don't have to do these tricks to be fed, dude.
No, like those beasts, like that video when we were watching during Blackfish where the guy got accidentally crushed by that one whale.
Yeah.
Not even talking about that, but just look at the raw fucking power.
Yeah,
because he was holding on the
exactly.
backside of that fin. It did 3 kicks.
Yeah.
They were going like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes whop, whop, whop. And you
it's
can see him bouncing, trying to stay on. He's just like, whoa. And and then this massive one launches itself out of the water. And they can go so much higher than that, dude.
Easily.
Yeah, that
guy
thing
was
really
halfway
wasn't
out of the water.
Yeah, that thing really wasn't trying.
No,
That thing,
not at all.
It wasn't trying to jump. Yeah, its tail was still in the water. It just did like it was like a little belly slam kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, man, that's just that's kind of just disturbing to me. You know that, and it's a little bit different, I'd say, for the dolphins and the sea lions because they they get similar sized tanks to the orcas. Now that's pretty big to a dolphin, I guess. Not really, but yes.
Just comparatively.
Comparatively, yes. That's still not big enough. But I'd understand if it was a place that did rehabilitation for animals and stuff like that, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. You know? Unlike I think zoos more so than not do rehabilitation. Now, the big problem I have with zoos is births in zoos. Now you're making that new cub, whatever it is. I was thinking in my head specifically pandas, but live in a life of solitary confinement, you know?
Yeah.
Now, if it's something that can't survive in the wild,
keep it.
I understand. Yeah. I totally understand. That's preservation of life, and that animal has emotions, and more times than not, I understand that. But yeah, in this case, it's unacceptable, dude, that we have animals doing fucking tricks for us. That's disgusting. Same with the circus, you know.
Yeah, that's
disgusting.
something I've heard from multiple podcasts, but one of the quotes I heard is 50 years from now, we're going to be surprised that we're making animals parade around like this for us.
Yeah.
Which I hope
Barbaric.
it's sooner than that.
Yeah.
You know, but if it comes...
I think we're past it. There's no more orca shows at SeaWorld. Effectively last year, I think. That movie is
5-6 years old?
no, fucking more than that. I think it was 2011. That was almost 10 years.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah, no, it's I hope everything can get stopped in that sense, because the only time I've ever enjoyed myself going to the zoo was just having, like, being able to see them do their thing.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
just having them be, like, being able to see that animal alone
Yeah.
is breathtaking.
Yeah.
And if it's not, you're not in the right state of mind, you know, because
100%.
you have to realize is that if you are from that general area and you go out into nature, that animal might kill you. Not that specific animal, but animal of that breed, you know?
Oh, lion. Yeah.
Yeah, just a lion.
Yeah.
Zebras, they could hit you with your hoof, knock you the hell out.
Yep.
You're donezo.
Yep.
You're left there, even if they don't eat you, something else will. You know, just anything. You have to weigh in as, like, there was a video that Joe Rogan showed on his podcast of a woman getting too close to a moose.
Yeah.
And the moose flung her like 10 feet with his rack.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then the park ranger was like, ma'am, you got to stay away from that.
Yeah.
And after she got flung away, she's like, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are dehumanized or they humanize animals. Yeah.
That's fucking...
Thank you, sir.
That shows me how stupid we are, dude.
Yeah.
You
so
know?
that's just, at the end of the day, there are very few animals I want to get near, but one of my dreams is to be able to just pat an orca on the nose, because I know in nature, there's never been a human killed by an orca.
Yeah.
Because orcas, they're in the right setting, they're happy, they know we're not searching for them, and we're not a threat, and whatever zone you're in and they're at in their nature, you're in their you're in their territory.
Yeah, 100%.
And they let you know.
100%.
That's why they make them visible, but they're friendly.
There's literally been instances, and I can't go off the top of my head, but I know there's instances of orcas saving people's lives where somebody's actually drowning in the wild. Maybe this is dolphins and belugas as well. But there's stories of orcas saving people's lives. That dude. Okay, so that video that we were watching afterwards. By the way, I want to go through the last death. The last death is Dawn Bradshaw. She was a senior trainer,
Probably the most seasoned
trainer. The one that everyone looked up to there, and that would always be going by the book. And
she was safety precaution.
Yeah.
Hands down. Yeah.
Yep. And this is like, she's doing like quiet time with Tilcum, and he grabbed her by the arm and fucking pulled her in. You know how they have the little shallow area. I'm sure some of you guys do know what we're talking about, the shallow area. If you've been to SeaWorld, you know what I mean? I have. You know, I went to SeaWorld every year when I was a fucking kid. I'm pretty sure I even saw her fucking perform, dude. Because this is after I used to go. I'd go for 2 days in a row or something like that. And we'd go watch the shows and stuff like that.
I went there when I was 5.
Yeah.
So that would be 2001. That was before that. Right? I think hers was...
I don't remember.
I didn't write down the year,
yeah,
unfortunately.
I don't remember.
Not the point, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's fucking preposterous. I mean, we even saw that video where orcas in the wild are like bobbing their head up, like saying, hey, what's up? So like they literally would bob up. They'd go straight up and straight back down. And they'd look at the people and go straight back down. They do a little jump and they go straight back down. Like they're doing those tricks just by themselves. It amuses them, but also they're doing it to say, hey, to us. They know that we're intelligent. They know that we can relate to them, but we don't. We choose not to. And that's the most fucked up thing. They can relate to us. We can't relate back. Now, do they do that for every fucking species? Hell no, dude. They are known to fucking maim sea lions and stuff like that. Like, just brutally kill these because that's their food source. They know we're not their food source. There has never been one recorded instance of a death from an orca or even an attack. That's ridiculous, man. In the wild, sorry. Yes. Let's be very clear about that. In the wild, there is no attacks from an orca.
Which that sounds a little weird because it doesn't have that.
Yeah, exactly.
Gee, I wonder what
the one that is trained fucking attacks people and kills people.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the fucking whale took Dawn Branshaw's arm, tore it off,
ate it,
and then ate it. It took them 12 hours to recover the body because he was like guarding it and shit. Dude, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
Like it was almost like that whale knew to not let them take the body, to even extend its point. As in suck in the consequences. You know?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't described in the sense where it's like a dog. If it gets a chew toy, you chase after it, and it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it was
exactly
like, no, you're not getting this.
Yeah,
You're not getting this.
yes,
No.
yeah,
You know, it was deliberate.
Yep.
Which is just
they
to me
give
mind blowing.
Yeah, but I'd say SeaWorld was a lot better than
Sea
Land because they'd still feed them.
Way bigger pools too.
Yeah.
Sealand.
Of course. But they'd still feed them. I'm not justifying anything they did, but at least they still fed them. There was the punishment of the neutral response, and hey, you're gonna eat later. You're not getting your reward. The buckets of fish were treats. That wasn't their food. You know that, right? They would feed them actual like large amounts. That was just
there's no way that 10 fish would feed them.
Well, it's 2 buckets.
Well,
fucking massive buckets with a shit ton of fish, but that's still not enough.
Well, yeah, I guess what I'm trying to harp on is their intelligence.
Yeah.
That was with being
The
able
amount
to
of
read
energy
the
that
level
they're
of fish.
burning doing those fucking shows.
Well, just like I'm just trying to say, like those whales were smart enough to be able to tell when those buckets were getting low.
Yeah, they'd hear the ice clanking around.
And
that's what they said. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like that's how smart those whales are.
Yeah.
It's
amazing.
not like they're they're not no average creature.
No.
By any means.
Yeah.
And
and yeah, so we watched the last 2 videos. I mean, you can even explain what happened in that last video that we watched. The one where they're chasing the boat. So.
Oh, yeah, it's just I mean, it even happens with dolphins too. But the way that they've developed to swim with the wake of your boat. Just the way that initially, obviously, like the only way that whales and dolphins would travel with waves was through natural waves in the ocean. But they ended up evolving to find out, this is kind of from a separate video tying into this. I remember watching a video about this is that dolphins and whales, they were intelligent enough to be able to be like, oh, there's a boat, and they could read the wake coming out from the front of the boat and use that energy to just carry them along. Follow the boat, hang out with the boat. And this video we were watching was orcas following the wake behind a boat, and you'd see 4, 5, 6 heads pop up at once just following the wake. Yeah. It's like almost like, hey, hi, what's up? Hey, what's up? Yeah. But what ended up happening is they were using us for hunting strategy to learn.
Yeah, exactly. They're literally using us for practice.
Yeah, they were using us. They were trying to study.
Okay. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulty. If it sounds like we just chopped in.
Yeah,
the recording stopped.
Just following that note is they were trying to study our hunting patterns and traveling patterns to be able to figure out how to better, get whatever they're hunting.
Yeah,
yeah. They're
learning the ability to chase and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's just absolutely fascinating to me. But one last fact I wanted to harp on before we completely leave this whale subject was I was talking to Bear Who about this before.
If you guys don't know who Bear Who is, that's me, by the way.
Sorry, I call him Bear Who.
Yeah.
My bad. Barry,
it's Barry, Bear Who, Adam B. Who. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, my bad. I just call I call him Bear Who. I'm just used to it because we worked with another Adam.
Yeah.
But I was talking to him about this yesterday. Weren't there only this is the question I asked him weren't there only 3 Shamus like so far? But he ended up telling me there's been
I think
20 plus.
Yeah, so all the males were called Shamu, right? And there was many babies that were born that were males. Mm-hmm. They were called Shamu, or the babies were called baby Shamu. But once they grew up, it was either Namu or Shamu. So Namu would be the female version. Shamu would be the male version.
Yeah, so I mean,
I'm not 100% positive that I'm the right.
Well, yeah, no, just saying is that from my impression, I thought that they were, just from me being a kid and growing up, my impression is that they had specific whales nicknames. That were like, these are the ones. Yeah. These are the ones that we're going to show. Yeah. But going off of that, the thing I wanted to truly note was I've only heard of, I think, max 5, but there's been 70 plus incidents just at SeaWorld with the trainer. Not deaths specifically, but injuries, any kind of incident to death.
Yeah.
And I just found that surprising because shouldn't you hear about that?
Yeah, it's hush hush.
But they're so hush hush about it.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So I just found that very surprising and to help enhance the story on their end.
So
too, from the documentary.
And to follow up, I guess, with that, it's okay. So the people who own SeaWorld own Busch Gardens as well, right? And I guess they're making, and I can't parade them for this event, for this initiative that they're pushing, but no more orca shows. I think they still do have dolphin and sea lion shows, and I think they respect the animals a lot more. And I think this movie fucking made a difference. That is one thing for fucking sure that it did. And I'm sorry that I'm swearing so hard, but it did.
I 100% back. I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm happy that it did.
Exactly. So
they're beautiful.
Yeah, and it's they still live in that park. I think, if I'm correct for saying that, I don't know, but
according to the movie,
yeah,
that was years ago.
Yeah, man, I haven't followed up too hard with that, but I know it's a subject that I was thinking about going into like marine biology. And specifically, I wanted to study dolphins. And
I remember you
whales,
telling me
all
that
cetaceans. Yeah. So, man, that was really disturbing. That was something that really upset me, man. But I guess they're making a good attempt. They're focusing more on amusement now, which is like roller coasters and stuff like that. Good for them. I mean, take Disneyland's fucking Disney World's, their formula. Whatever, Cedar Point, dude, whatever. But animals are not there to be our amusement. That's end of the day, no discussion. They're not here for our amusement.
If they are, you should be going to see them in their natural environment.
Exactly.
For amusement.
Exactly. And not affecting their lives at all.
Yeah.
Do not interact with them at all. To be honest, that's what it should be. I believe human interaction is the most detrimental thing that we can do to an animal.
Well, that's one of our big goals is, along with mental health, is to... animal rights, animal equality in the sense where they need to be put where they belong.
Yeah, exactly.
If we think that we should be where we belong, they should.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, man, we're so distant from nature, but we're not at the same time because we do get killed by animals, and we think this. We think because a human got killed by an animal that this is a vivacious animal and that they have no right to kill us, and that is nature. Okay, we are so not in tune. I think vicious. I shouldn't say vivacious. I don't think that makes sense. I just kind of just got off track because
looking it up.
Yep, I'm looking up what vivacious means.
The word of the day.
Because if this means something funny, I'm gonna fucking laugh my ass off, dude. Vivacious.
But no, I 100%. 100%.
Especially of a woman, attractively, lively, and animated. This animal is such a vivacious animal.
This is so seductive.
Yeah, it's so attractive. That animal is so lively, animated, and attractive. But to get on a fucking serious note, we're so distant. We're so distant from
I'm sorry.
Sexy looking.
I'm sorry.
That's a sexy looking fox over there.
He's a sexy whale.
Super animated. I get I was gonna say something. I was gonna say I get boners when I watch Zootopia. Those are all vivacious animals. But yeah, anyways, we start to assume that these animals are just absolutely terrible because of attacks that they do on humans. That's normal. We used to hunt them. We are not the apex predator. We had strategy is the only reason.
We got our brain.
Just like you'd say, what's the apex predator of North America? Not the wolf, actually. I mean,
I wouldn't think it was the wolf.
Yeah, I'd say probably a cougar because on its own, it does much better. in a pack, I'd say best pack hunter for sure, a wolf. But that's the same thing. So we label these animals and we're horrified of it because they're so distant from nature. Because these animals that used to attack us were gods to humans. They were so spiritual, like they were spirits of the woods, man. You know, they really were. And same with, that's why they call it blackfish, is because it's like a spirit to them.
Well, it was from Native American, right? Descendants, and the labeling is blackfish.
Yeah, they call it a spirit of the ocean, and it was something to be. It was.
You were humbled by it.
It was humbling, but it was also something to not mess with, is what they said, and that's so fucking true, man. You don't mess with it. You don't mess with it. You see what happens when you mess with it.
And by messing with it is even in nature. If you were to mess with it, they have thousands of miles to get away from you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what they would do.
Yeah.
But when they're locked in a cage at SeaWorld, they don't
They
have
can't
anywhere to
escape.
go when you constantly tell it what to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So that's the major plot synopsis of that movie was that captivity for these animals is terrible.
Yeah.
And we both 100% agree on that. We hope that the majority of everybody would agree on that because it's treating... If you don't agree with us, just go online and research for 30 minutes orca intelligence videos.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. And I'm sure at the end, you would feel some emotional pull towards taking care of those animals due to how intelligent they are and how hard it is to hunt them. To get them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like any other animal.
Yeah.
Just the way that you have to go about it and how strategically you have to go about it. What other animal do you have to go have land and air surveillance and constantly be harping with communication like that?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the same thing by any means.
Exactly. So I think if I had to rate the movie, I'm going to say a 9.5 out of 10.
Mine was a 5 out of 10. So
5 out of 10?
I'm sorry, 5 out of 5. So sorry. I
was like, fuck you.
So if we were gonna do a 10 out of 10, mine would definitely be a 9.5.
Yeah.
But to me, that's because they didn't have the extra half hour of factuals.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the
handshake.
Yeah, 100%,
Fuck yeah.
dude. Yeah, because 9.5 out of 10. Because I wanted it to be 2 hours long. It was 1.5 hours long. So definitely in a range. If you guys can deal with the fucking podcast, you can definitely watch that movie.
Oh yeah, hands down.
So yeah, 9.5 out of 10, dude. They should have gone further into the reason that it was called Blackfish, which I thought they did. Yeah, let me go make sure.
Sorry, this episode we're having a few technical difficulties with the computer.
We'll have to do the screen time on that monitor.
Yeah, we just have to mess with the monitor really quick. But
so yeah, they should have had extra maybe 5 minutes explaining what blackfish meant. You know what I mean? And
at least,
yeah, because I had to look that up myself. I believe it. Showing how important it was to the society. Also, a little bit more closure towards the end. I didn't like the way that they left off. With the trainers going out there and
sailing.
Literally, they're all laughing and shit at the end. I'm like, this isn't funny. Yeah, granted, it's out of context. You know what I mean? Them laughing, they're having a good time hanging out with each other once again. I get that.
Well,
probably
just
after years
to set how they were laughing.
Yeah,
was like they went out on a boat to actually whale watch.
Yes, exactly. And the guy said it was kind of a really cheesy line, dude. He's like, we saw whales. He's like, yeah, we went out on a boat, and then it's like a 20-second pause, and then it's like. And it goes to some other guy, and he's like, whatever. And then it goes back to this guy, and he's like, we saw whales. He's like, I'm glad I had my sunglasses on because it stopped everybody from seeing the tears. And I'm like, that's beautiful, dude. That's sure. Yeah, I guarantee you did cry, but that just,
I don't know, like
it rubbed me a little bit wrong when they're all laughing
after all
at the end, dude.
After all the years and stuff, like, I don't know, just the person I am. If I'm gonna cry in front of you, I cry in front of you.
Yeah.
You know?
And I believe, dude, this is something that really pissed me off. The movie is not about the people. The movie is about the animal. Don't leave with the people.
No, you're right. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
You're right.
Exactly.
As in, basically it did leave off with how the people were feeling, the trainers that worked with them.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it left off.
Yeah.
Is the trainers were happy at the end. So
I'd like to start doing this 10 out of 10 thing, dude. You want to start doing that?
Yeah, dude, 10 out of 10. I like it. I like it. My 5 out of 5 was fucked up,
Yeah,
but me and you both have a 9.5 out of 10.
Exactly. It gives a little bit more room for, gives a little bit more room for.
No, I 100% agree. I like that.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things we want to do is review things like this. It's not going to be, hey, next episode is Toy Story 3 review. You know, like, not that we'd ever review Toy Story.
Yeah.
Just, as in a specific movie. But, we'll look at something media. Movie, YouTube, music, video game, anything.
Yeah.
Anything we come up with. We'll come into that week and we'll direct a topic around that.
Exactly. I'd like to do that. I'd like to start doing that. And not every week.
Not every week. Yeah.
Just
anytime there's something that inspires us. We don't want to, anything that we put on this podcast, we want it to be us. We're not going to force something by any means. If we don't feel like doing a review for something that week and we'd rather just shoot the shit, we're going to shoot the shit, have some general topics based, but we're just trying to be authentic as we can be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
so we'll get off that subject as far as Blackfish.
Sounds good.
But, what was that story you wanted? You're telling me there's a story, and then I want to say something.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not trying to we were already talking about Blackfish. I'm not trying to bring the mood down by any means, but this was one of those stories I wanted to sit there and tell Bearhoo all week because I could see him doing the same exact thing. It was around like 10 o'clock at night. Or no, 9 o'clock. It was after I got out of work late one night prepping, and I stopped at a gas station to buy, it was like, I don't know, like 2 big-ass Gatorades. So I'd have one to slam that night, and then one to wake up in the morning and go to work with. So I walk in there, and there's this mom and this kid, and this kid is probably 4 years old, maybe 3 to 5.
And where was this? I'm sorry,
a gas station. Okay. Just a gas station near my house.
Okay.
Kind of out near the Culvers near my house.
Okay, gotcha.
On that way.
Yep.
But so I stopped at this gas station, and at first I was like, "Wow, this is a wild mom in a way, as in the way she's emotionally expressing herself."
Okay.
But after a little bit, I could tell she was pilled out.
You think so?
I know so.
Yeah.
Because the way she was talking was like this. Like, she would literally just throw her hands up in the air while she was talking.
Yeah.
And the kid's right next to her. And then the kid went to go grab a Slim Jim. And she's like, no, don't grab the Slim Jim. Don't grab the Slim Jim. And her hands are flying all over the place.
Yeah.
All
she's
over
being
the place.
all vivacious.
Yeah, and she's like...
She's being vivacious.
She's being vivacious, yeah. I mean, not to take away from this.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, that's our humor. But yeah, so I could just see her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not joking when I'm throwing my hands around. That's what she was doing.
Exactly.
And so I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
And I looked in the clerk's eyes, and he just had those stone cold eyes like, oh.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, dude? Can you cash out quick so I can get this out of my mind?
And so I'm sitting there watching, and I made a note in my mind is how nice she was to the kid.
Oh, she was very nice to him?
Yes. But this is still this was still watching this interaction. I'm not done. So I was just like, wow, she's extremely courteous and nice. Yeah. She's not short with her words because he would go in and grab things. She'd be like, I don't know his name. I'm just putting out Sean for a name. And he's, no, Sean, no. We're not buying that. Put that back.
Yeah.
Put that back.
Yeah.
But at the end, while they were walking out the door, she stopped and looked at a case of cigars.
Yeah.
Which furthered my notion of her being pilled out because she had no reason to look at that case of cigars.
Yeah.
Going to buy a Tubby sandwich and Gatorades.
Yeah.
So she sits there and stares at it. The kid goes to grab at it, and she starts screaming at him.
Yeah.
For like 20 seconds, walks out while I'm buying my stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there wide-eyed.
Yeah.
Just I'm trying to think of something I could do. Even though there's nothing I can do, just something I can do.
Yeah.
And so I ended up buying my drinks, my Gatorades, and whatever the fuck I bought. I don't remember. I was mainly concentrated on this, but I ended up going out to my car, and she's turned around in her car like this, slapping the kid.
Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, slapping the kid. And
dude, to be honest, I'd pull her out of her fucking car and I'd slap her, dude.
I just, like, I didn't want to do anything wrong to have me involved, but you have no idea how bad I wanted to drag her out of the car and knock her out for hitting a kid.
Yeah.
So the only thing I figured was viable at doing was sitting in that parking lot until they left.
Yeah.
I sat there for 20 minutes. They did not leave.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm just like, this is a sign. Shouldn't be involved in this.
Yeah.
I can't do anything besides if they leave, call the cops, give them their license plate, and they won't find the person till tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know,
I would have, honestly, if I were you, if I could have seen what was going on.
I look back and,
No, I would have taken a video, dude. Send it to
Yeah.
CPS.
You're right.
To be honest, dude,
And that hurts me.
I mean,
since then, I've wanted to do that. I just didn't. In that point in time, I was so shaken because I hate saying that.
Yes. Okay, so I have a particularly weird stance on this. You know, things that have happened to me, and I never support hitting a kid.
Yeah.
Under any circumstance. Now, I'm really weird about it because I know that I've heard stories, horror stories of these kids. Like, you can't do anything. If you do anything, I'm calling whatever. These kids get a notion of power because they see the weakness beyond their parent. You understand? Do I believe spanking should be illegal? No. I believe you should be able to spank your kid.
So,
you should not be able to smack your kid in the fucking face or anything or anywhere in the body. You should be able to spank your kid. That's it.
No, the only time I feel that spanking a child is justified is if they get in trouble for hitting another kid. You know?
Yeah.
As in, like, you give them a spank and be like, see how it makes you feel? Now imagine how that kid felt.
Yeah.
You know, like the fact that you hit them, you hurt their feelings.
Yeah. Well, I think to establish dominance, because the parent is supposed to be the dominant person, and if a kid's taking too much fucking reins on that life, what other choice do you have? I mean, you can talk to them, and I'd say first option, always talk to them. Talk 100%. To them, get down on their level, do that, and do a couple different things. But if really nothing's working, what choices do you have? Spank your fucking kid, dude.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Don't slap him. Don't ever fucking touch him.
Just a hard pat on the butt.
Yes, exactly.
Hard pat on the
butt. Like, hey, I'm stern. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what that's showing.
That's what I was trying to say is that if they got in trouble, especially for being violent, a hard slap on the butt, will put them as like, oh my gosh, that's how I made them feel. Because
dude, you're showing this kid, especially when you bend them over your knee, that they're in a state of
they're controlled or
they're in a state of submission.
Yeah, perfect word.
Yeah. And you're smacking them to give them that, not smacking them, spanking them, give them that extra little it's fine. To give them that extra little bit of assertiveness towards, I'm not just gonna lean you over my fucking knee and give you a threat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to kind of follow up on it. What other choice do you have? Fucking set your kid up for adoption because you don't want to deal with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And fuck no, that's absolutely off the table. You know what I mean?
That's the way
you can't do anything or send them off to a fucking private school or something. No, that's not solving anything. I mean, really, sometimes you do have to take the problem in your own hands, but that's upsetting that happened and that you had to watch that. That's fucking
so I didn't know how to react in that time. I would have reacted differently now.
Yeah.
I would have taken a video. I would have reported the license plate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, I don't know, I guess in that point in time I was giving the benefit of the doubt and hope, but at the same time I know that me doing that did not further their situation whatsoever.
No, 100%.
Made it more negative.
100%.
And it just I don't know, like it hurt watching that. You know, I can't imagine as a kid, going from, I can't say per se for your childhood, but I can't see your mom ever being terrible to you.
My mom wasn't.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I could never see that. Same with my mom.
One time my mom hit me with a binder. Sorry, Mom, if you're ever listening to this. Dude, my mom cried for like fucking 7 hours after she did that, dude. I can't believe I did that. I was being a little shit too, dude.
You deserved it. But.
Dude, I'd fucking jump out of my mom's car at like 35 miles an hour, dude. I'd fucking force my mom into buying me Taco Bell every day, dude. when I got out of the skate
jump
park.
out of the car.
Pretty much, dude. Pretty much.
That's
Pretty
a little
much,
shit
dude.
thing to
I'll
do.
tell you a story another time on the podcast. But especially when we have Adam on, dude.
Hell
When
yeah.
we have Adam Mikowski on, oh man, he's probably going to tell you guys all the stories.
Amazing
Adam, don't tell him all the bad
storyteller.
stories.
He's funny.
Yeah,
Adam
yeah.
Mikowski.
I can't wait to have him on because he's a dude that we can talk to. I feel like we could have a 3-hour podcast. with him.
I've personally had
4 hours.
3-hour conversations with him.
Yeah. You know me. Me and him are best friends. So of course I've had fucking 10-hour conversations.
Yeah, I've always liked him. He's
Yeah.
a great guy.
Yes, of course.
He's like like Anthony in the sense where
He's like the great Gatsby.
if you don't like him, the way he interacts with people,
Yeah.
there might be an issue with you in the sense because he's a Karen dude.
Yeah, exactly.
He cares.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. I believe we all have our flaws, and there's reasons that
course.
some people don't like me. There's reasons that some people don't like him.
Well,
I
I
believe
mean,
it's all justified. You
we
know?
highlighted one of my flaws this episode is I'm a little hard-headed.
Me too
in
as
this
well.
sense.
Yeah, I'm
Bear
intense.
Who, this is something that I want to attribute Bear Who being separate from me, though, is because he has a way better. I even told him this, I would say, 6, 7, or 8 months ago, is in a personal conversation. I was telling him that I look up to him in the sense of how he gives people the benefit of the doubt. I look up to him how they did something really shitty. All right, well, who cares?
Yeah.
In that sense,
Yeah.
where that's not
Give him
them,
the
that's not them.
Give him the second time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
second
that's
chance.
something I'm trying to exercise a lot more. Bear Who definitely has that more under wraps than me.
Yeah.
The only issue I see different with me and you is just when you are upset about something. Yeah, fucking, like that's what you.
I
do.
get up in people's
Yeah.
faces, dude. I'm real quick to the fucking trigger, dude. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, fuck you? Oh, fuck yeah? Okay. Okay, so I guess we're doing this.
Let's fight right now. Okay.
I guess we're doing this, dude. So let's bring it up a note real quick, and then we'll close
yeah,
off
dude.
for the night. Ew, I just got a new follower. So I want your reaction on this.
Yeah, you were telling me. Yeah, we got your we got the Bluetooth turn up, right? You said you wanted.
Yeah. It's at the right level.
Got you.
Yeah, we're good.
Am I supposed to watch this too?
Yeah,
Or just
I'll
hear
show
it?
you. I mean, it's really just it's really audio. It's me playing a video game, but it was a chat party. So on PlayStation, you have chat parties, and I can, if everybody has the chat party stuff up, you can hear our conversations. And so we're talking for a second, me and my buddy Ryan. I'm gonna tell him that I put him in the podcast today. When Yid,
Like the one I went to school with.
No, not right. No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Yid. You played with him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yes.
Yep. I know him.
So
Funny dude.
how do I go to my videos?
Bear Who only hangs out with funny people.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that.
I mean, they're characters, dude. They're all characters. I dude, it's almost like a movie, dude. All right, so let's go. Let's see if we can hear this.
What was the name of the Hosier song?
It's called In the Woods Somewhere. You wanna know what had a fire soundtrack? Was fucking Need for Speed.
Say
Literally the most disgusting thing. I swear, dude.
who was that?
That was Yid. That was him talking. How dare him fucking talk about Need for Speed? Let's play that again just for sharp measure, all right?
Dude, that's like that news reviewer with Fartgate this week, dude. Did you hear about
No.
that? This guy ripped ass in the middle of a CNN interview.
Really?
Yeah, and it sounded like
Fartgate.
that. Yeah, they call
They're
it
putting a
Fartgate.
gate on it, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, how dare him? The audacity of a fucking person to go, it had a great soundtrack. Need for Speed. The fucking sheer audacity, the heinous fucking mentality of that man to be able to do that and just laugh about it after. You hear me, dude, I don't laugh about it. I literally just, that was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. That's
Just play
exactly-
that shit again, dude. That's
Yeah,
funny
yeah,
as
yeah.
fuck.
What was the name of the Hosier song?
It's called In the Woods
Is he
Somewhere.
playing Mirror's Edge?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay.
You wanna know what had a fire soundtrack? Was fucking Need for Speed. Oh,
You were,
fuck.
dude. That was literally the most disgusting.
Oh my god!
Hey Ryan, shout out to you. That was absolutely disgusting. You
Great
were a fucking
vocals.
disgusting
You have good butthole
human.
vocals, though, man.
Yeah.
You could definitely go into some butthole choir.
I heard his wife the other day because
oh no,
she's
Man.
yeah. So
I feel bad for her.
yeah, that's exactly what she said. She said, "You think that's bad?" She heard the video. I had to upload this on YouTube.
So she could hear it.
Well, no, not so that she could hear it, so that I'd remember that this happened. Because the fucking the ridiculous behavior to fucking say, "Hey, dude, we're having a conversation." First off, you know what's had a fire soundtrack? Need for Speed, and then fucking do that, dude. You can hear his fucking him shitting his britches, dude. He's
can hear
literally
how
getting
wet that
poop
was.
in his fucking underwear, dude. Yeah, the fucking yeah. You can hear it playing around in his butt cheeks, dude. Like,
That brown snake made it out of that.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He's just like fucking see a brown, dude. But yeah, dude. His wife ends up saying to me, she's like, "You think that's bad?" Like, because I'm supposed to go out there in December just to help him move and stuff like that. She's like, "Yeah, wait till you're here in December, dude. It's even more vocal. He does it at least once every 20 minutes." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I don't think I can come anymore. I don't think I can help you guys. I'm sorry." Anyway, so I think that's we want to leave it on a funny note, right? And I got a little quote for us.
Good. That's what I was about to pull up. Go ahead.
So going on the line of the Blackfish thing. Sorry, I'm starting to move. It takes a strong leader to really start moving on that stuff. To actually go against a giant corporation like that. It takes definitely a leader. So I thought a perfect quote for this would be a leadership quote. So leaders think and talk about the solutions. Followers think and talk about the problems. Okay. And in a sense, if you guys see something that's wrong and you really do want to make a difference about it, start to, think and talk about the solutions. Do not dwell on just the problems, because just talking about the problems, guys, is really going to do a whole lot of nothing. Okay.
Well,
it might spread awareness, but that's about as far as it'll go. If you really attack the source, or, help the source, there's many different ways. You don't have to be a leader. You don't have to take down an establishment, but, showing an alternative way is definitely the most powerful thing.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And I guess the last message is we're just going to let everybody know about our socials really quick is please be sure to give us a follow on Instagram. And you can just look up the Surreal Series, no caps, no spaces. Yep. And then on Twitter, it's series_surreal. And then just look us up on YouTube, the Surreal Series. Yep. The main thing that we would just love is we're trying to just work on our YouTube.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it for now.
And it's going to be the face. It's going to be the face for us. The way that most people are going to get any sort of inkling that we're out there is through YouTube. Maybe on a suggested video, or if you guys share a post that we do on Facebook or something like that, or Twitter, or Instagram.
That make us smile right away.
Yeah, man. You don't know how much that helps. It really does. And it's not just somebody fakely saying, "Hey, it means that, hit the like and subscribe button, hit that bell notification." No, guys, the fact that we're able to do this every week has been warming my heart for the last month. I've never felt better. I've never felt like I have a purpose more than this, and it would just further help really make the lives that we want. And I think that can be well spoken for both of us.
Oh yeah, just the lives that we wanted. That's our ultimate happiness, and part of our ultimate happiness is being able to find solutions or just suggestions for anybody so that they can do the same thing. Not that we're trying to say everybody's going to be happy going and doing podcasts, but we want people to find the confidence through us taking that extra step, taking that risk to do what we love, so that they would go and do it too. I mean, I'm a little back on paying bills right now because of the money I've put into this. Yeah. But I'm young. I can get back from that. You know, don't let life hold you back. Make life cater to you. Yeah. Because especially when you're young.
Take that leap of faith. Be the leader, you know?
Be the leader.
Don't be somebody that was like dwells on the past, man. I ran into a lot of people that they constantly look at their lives like it's special because I know someone that's famous or I know somebody that's done something with their lives. Be that person that did something with their lives, you know? Don't let your life go in front of you and say at the end of it, well, I didn't really do much, you know?
Yeah, Barahu and I are convinced and hard set on there's no other choice than this. This is our life. This is what we want to do. Yeah. We have other goals, of course, but there's no other choice than this. And if you have that thing,
well, let's say there is other choices.
Well, there are.
They're just not anything that I'd want to.
Well, I'm saying for us to be happy.
Yes, exactly. For our happiness. Yes, yeah.
So as in, this is our only choice. This is our only option for us to be who we want to be and to grow in that. Yeah. And not saying that everybody needs to go and start a podcast or YouTube or whatever. Just, giving us a listen and stuff. You never know. Maybe a change in opinion, or you might have something click and realize, hey, I want to go and be a veterinarian. Yeah.
Or you might want to come on here, dude. We'd love to have you on.
We'd love to. And anybody that has a beautiful story and they're a beautiful person.
Yeah, exactly.
No issues with having
cohesive conversation. If you think you can have cohesive conversation, starting, I think, in 2 weeks, we're going to start having people on. So
I would say 3 to be generous.
Yeah, let's say 3
sure
weeks.
About the sales, because we're going to be going out on Black Friday doing a lot of research on pricing.
Cyber Monday, too, as well.
Also, So that
will be a for sure when we grab stuff, but
so it's going to be coming real soon. We're going to have guests on, and we're going to be introducing 2 of our young boys that are in the intro, the Ginther boys, John and Matt, dude.
They're going to be the first episode.
They're the ones that are in our intro that you say it's the Surreal Series, baby. And those are those 2 boys. Yep. We hold them deeply close to our heart. We haven't spoke to them about them too much on this so far, but they're our first guests, and you guys are going to understand why, because they're 2 very beautiful people. Yep. But I guess we'll close up right now, man.
So let's just hit that quote again, just so I like just leaving off.
No, I like that quote. You know Go ahead, man.
Leaders think and talk about the solutions. Followers think and talk about the problems. Think about this week, guys. So
you have a beautiful week, guys.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Why are you saying that?
This is Surreal Series, baby.